Hey Beasties, it's your girl Dezi.
And Kelly.
And we're here for another episode of
Beast Friends. So, first of all, I just want to say shout out to our newfound Beasties who are loving the Beast Friends podcast. Every time we see like a comment or just an encouraging message or you say that you love it, I mean, I know I get butterflies.
I do too, actually.
Yeah.
And I haven't had butterflies in a long time.
I'm like, and it takes a lot, sis.
No, seriously, we really appreciate you all's feedback and even some people who have given some constructive criticism. We are all for it. It's helping us to grow. It's letting us know that we are on the right track and that, you know, this is the time for it. So it really feels good to have you all a part of the Beasthood.
Hey. So with that being said, you know, even if it's two people, one person, the two of us, we want more episodes. So here we are. Hi.
Hi.
So today we are talking about what, my beautiful beastie?
This is all about the girl code.
And we need to have the combo because some chicks are confused.
I don't think they know about the girl code.
Some of y'all rolling with the wrong ones. They are not thorough. They do not know code.
So listen, let's hit this topic real quick because it's one of those things that we could talk about in fun, but at the same time, it's really a situation. Like, there is a code. And I mean, at the end of the day, in order to consider yourself a beastie, you have to know how to operate within the code, right?
That's very fair. And you know, just on a personal note, I think at this time in my life, I am very proud to say that I have friends who are different in many ways, but we all are alike in how we operate.
Yeah, no one violates the code.
For the most part, like, I think if I put all of my friends together, we're all still operating from the same code. Now, some friends, it's like, oh, you know, she gonna be more of that.
They need a
less
reminder.
of this.
Just say they need a reminder.
You know, some friends, it's like, you know, again, there are differences. But I do believe that I am surrounded by a group of beasties that get it. So we want you guys to have beasties that get it too.
And this is a total way to determine, like, either they get it or they don't. But it's also a thing where you don't have to cut a friend off if they don't understand the code. You sometimes just got to enlighten them.
That's fair. I think, you know, fair warning is appropriate.
Absolutely.
You know how my warning goes?
How does your warning go, Kels?
Now listen, I don't tell grown folks what to do.
That's the disclaimer.
I don't tell grown folks what to do and how to live their lives. But you know what? If you're going to rock with me, if me and you are going to
there are
rock,
rules.
You know what I'm saying? This is what we ain't gonna do. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. What are we thinking?
F
what are we
y'all
feeling?
for it. You got it for it. F y'all for it. Sorry. All right, so listen, let's jump into some that we all kind of know, but, you know, let's see people's opinion about it. Let's give ours. So you jump first. You give me something you're thinking about. What's a girl code sitch?
Okay, so obviously, you know, something that comes up often is like, you know, friends in relation to like men, right?
Of course.
Of course.
This is super code.
This is super code, okay? And I feel like it is the red flag of flags when there is some sort of miss on this. Like, okay, so obviously you don't mess with somebody's crush. But not everybody.
What if they your crush too, though?
Not everybody rocks like that.
But what if they your crush too?
Here's what it is, though. I always say it's about open communication amongst women because so often, right, it's like we're tiptoeing around and trying to be secretive and, you know, thinking we holding shit close to the vest and all of that type of stuff. And dudes out here.
They
like,
fully out here.
Should I repeat myself? Dudes just out here fully communicating with one another.
And everybody else.
About what's going on. So I think it is always a disservice to just females in general,
not be open,
let alone friend groups, to not just be like so direct and so open. Like, to be honest with you, there was a dude that I talked to for like a split second, you know, nothing like intimate occurred. We stopped kicking it. He ends up, you know, like stepping to my friend. And what's the first thing you think she did?
She called you.
Because she a beastie. Because she thorough. And she called me and she goes, hey, yo, he stepped to me. I could kind of see it being a thing. However, you know what I'm saying? Like, need to, one, make sure that you're cool. But also, two, I just want to know, like, what happened? Because she might have been less comfortable with it if, you know, the relationship had gone
I always
further.
give the rundown. It's almost like you should tag me in first because I'm going to give you the full play-by-play. I'm going to let you know where it's at, what it's hitting for,
If it's worth it.
all the things.
Is it worth it? So basically,
Discern us. I feel some judgment out there. Y'all need to discern us, okay?
please, they need to be taking notes, sis. Like, this is real deal. So basically,
So give me one. Give me the question. So what is it? What is a girl code violation? So,
okay, girl code violation is basically going after a crush or an ex and not saying anything.
Okay.
So I think permission needs to be granted.
But there is the option. You do have the option.
I think, yeah, with communication, I think, yeah.
Is there like a statute on that option? Like,
Well, I feel like if it's somebody's whole like baby daddy, long-term relationship, y'all been rolling around for a minute, like that's just a no.
does it matter how dirty you got when you rolled around?
Potentially. Shit. But basically, like, I think that the circumstances are like, you know, kind of the dynamic of the relationship matters as it relates to if you should even broach it.
Okay.
I think if you were peripherally hollering at somebody, like, you know, and it was just kind of a fly by night sort of a thing,
Yeah.
that's different. But there are men that I wouldn't even want to look at because it's like, you been with my girl. Like, I'm not even here for it.
Yeah, like I helped her come up with that text message when it was over.
Like,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, so I think that's what it is. So I think it's not really loose. I think it's more so about like, hey, if this is like your girl's ex, you know, no, why would we even talk about it? But if that was just somebody, you know, she was talking to for a second, or it was something very peripheral, then like you should have the conversation. You still can't move without permission.
Okay, now wait. Now here I come.
Come on,
about
give
to
it to
dump the
me.
truck.
Dump the truck.
So we all have had that friend that is always peripheral with everybody. Everybody's peripheral and they do it
Yeah.
a lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we just got that friend and there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. I mean, for them.
Yeah.
So then what about that friend? You know, that friend is almost like she just a hot box. So everywhere you go, everywhere you go, she got the trail. And every now and then there's a casualty that's like, he was a good sitch. Like, I could totally see myself engaging with him on a whole nother level. But here she come with the hot box. And then Burn Boy, you know what I'm saying? So what about that? What about that friend that's like, and then this is always the same friend that if you do talk to one of their exes or whatever she wants to call it, her peripheral, then it's almost like she might say yes, but her ego feel away, and you can always tell because if it's ever a situation where everybody's around, it's that little underneath going on, that hot box be ticking.
So here's the deal. You still have the conversation because it's about how you roll, right? Like, not necessarily the person you're dealing with. So I still feel like you have the conversation, but I think it's less about permission and it's more about, you know what I'm saying? It's just more about sharing information at that point. It's
Okay.
I'm not asking you, sis. I'm informing you of what's going on out of
Okay.
respect. I think maybe it might be some of that.
So your
like,
approach is different.
your approach is a bit different. Because the person is still peripheral. So it doesn't matter if like that's your MO or not. It's like you wasn't really rocking with him like that. Now, as far as the whole ego thing and there being like this underlying situation, everybody who's friends with me knows how like I can't do passive aggressive. So I'm always like, say what you mean what you say. Like, that's just how I rock.
Get it off your chest.
Yeah. And then that's one. But two, I think at a certain point also you need to know like the man that you're dealing with. So it's like y'all
That's a
need to
good
have
point.
discussions about like, you know that she gonna be coming from a whole angle. Like, you don't need to be responding to it. I'll never forget, there's a friend that I have. And I mean, she's really a good friend of mine, but it's just like you have to know your friends.
Yeah.
And she's not a hot box, but it's more so like
Or is she?
she
It's fine. I understand. Everyone listens to Beast Friends. You have to be very careful what you say.
She's not a hot box, but she does like, you know, male attention, maybe more so than the average person. And I'll never forget, I was like, now listen, she's my friend and I know her and I love her and I know how she rocks. but it's also about the men that I'm dealing with, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if a dude is gonna so quickly respond to that foolishness that I'm talking to,
Then you already know.
X
XO.
nay. Like,
I said XO.
XO, kind of keep her. Listen, I kind of keep her in my back pocket is a quick
I mean, that's a
quick
very
test.
strategic move, and I think it's smart.
a quick test.
So, okay, fine. So we have this. We realize that, okay, so if there's a situation and you're dating someone and it's peripheral, or if you are dating someone and your friend is dating someone and you feel like this guy is kind of coming towards you, the rule is to make sure that you address your friend. You let your friend know what's going on. You ask either permission or you kind of state the claim of what it is and see what their, response is. And then we are supposed to be open and sharing in what's been the prior.
Yeah, like what was the deal?
So what happens when your friends
Says no.
Well, then let's explore that. Let's explore when your friend says no. Because now I've seen situations where I've had a set of girlfriends in whom one was dating a guy for quite some time, but never claimed him to be like her it. You know what I mean? But my other girlfriend and dude had this weird chemistry, and then I guess they started talking on the side or something.
That's
And the initial relationship with my friend A and the dude was like very underground. It wasn't, she never made like it known what it was. So kind of almost none of us really knew exactly, what was going on, which plays to the whole not being open with your friends. And if you feel like you can't be open with your friends, then clearly they're really not your friends.
That's what I was about to say.
But
Because y'all
anyways,
know all
yeah.
my business.
I mean, ditto. So then when friend B and him kind of sparked something up, it was this big controversy over how could you do that? And this is somebody I used to mess with some 10 years ago, though.
So it was an ex.
It was an ex.
They weren't actively kicking it when
No,
the friend B got with him.
No, but then friend A claims that sometimes he tried to holler, even though she doesn't bite, but he tried to holler. So it's like, I guess it plays into ignoring the dude, one, but the other part is like, sis, you never stated what it was. Friend A never stated what it was. And then friend B, yeah, you probably still should have asked, but is there like a limitation? Like where does it fall? Yeah, what's the statute of limitation? Like, is it 7 years? Is it 10? Is it 0? God go no higher? Like, we need to come up with like what is that?
I think if the person is still your friend, you always have to have the conversation. Like, if the person is no longer
agree.
your girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all ain't,
Well, I don't know if that girl's no more.
but I'm saying if y'all
After
just I'm not talking about after y'all
No.
fall out over some dude, but I'm saying like if you guys are no longer cool, like you don't have a relationship, and I mean you don't really have a relationship.
Yeah.
Not like we talk less than we did and we still all hang out.
Right,
But like,
right.
if you don't really hang out, you don't see the person, y'all don't really have a relationship. I think there's some room there. But like, to me, I feel like friend B should have just been like, hey, yo, I don't really know what it was, but I
Just
know
in
that you were
case.
dealing with him,
Yeah.
whatever. And like, now he on my line. Because then that opens up the communication for, oh, he on your jack too?
Right.
Oh, what
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
Everybody dusted off.
we can leave him where he is. Like, and that's the misstep, I think, with that the whole triangle that exists. Like, women never boss up and come
Well,
together.
they don't communicate because they be competing, and we talk about that
And
all
we
the
talk
time.
about
That's
that.
the point of this. You got to
Collabo.
collab over the comp because you'll miss it. We gain more when we collab together.
So this is a public service announcement to any dude who I deal with. We're communicating. I'm a communicator.
Oh, we talks around here.
We talk.
Fully.
We're
Morse code. We got beast friend terminologies. You won't even know we talk about you right in front of your face.
You got nicknames. You don't know what's going on. So anyway, so that whole thing is very controversial. So we brought that up first. But there are other like kind of more off the cuff things, but are still very indicative of like the type of friend that you have. Like, is this person really a beastie? Like, for example, if something's wrong with your outfit, if you have a malfunction or something like that, obviously, like, you're supposed to tell not only your friend, but like you need to show up just for women in general. Like,
I mean, I agree, but then that's a thin line though. It's almost like that if her stomach big, do you say congratulations on the baby? Like there's a thin line. I mean, it is. It's almost like you don't know sometimes because what you might think is a malfunction could truly be the sleeve that she wanted to slide down a little further. I mean, so then the question is, are you offending them or can someone feel like, why are you trying to change the way I flow? Because I got friends that like to wear florals and prints, and that just ain't my thing. So to me, it would be like, well, you need a different pair of pants on.
No, but this is like this is like a malfunction though. So like if you could see somebody's floral panties,
yeah, if the bra strap is twisted, yes, you fix it.
Yeah.
Or if you got a tag you need to flip down, yes. But most of the time that's easy. That's
you would be surprised though, because I feel like the same thing goes for like if something's on your face or something's in your teeth, like you just need to show up for women. Because I've walked into a bathroom and been like, "Nah, this bitch, see this stuff all over my face," and did I say? And I've talked to like 8 people. Like, come on.
But sometimes people don't see it. Let's just say that.
No.
And the other thing is a malfunction again. Sometimes people wear floral panties with white pants. That's just what they do.
No, they don't.
Girl.
Not for real. On purpose.
That might be all they got. They buy them 5 for 25s or what is it, 5 for 28s, and that's what they pick.
Okay, so here's another one. Though I think you're supposed to let people know though.
No, I agree. You should let them know. But I think there's a line on that as far as like, maybe my idea is, what about your friends when you getting dressed to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And your friend put on something. It's more like, well, how does this look? So let me change the question. Maybe my point of view was a little skewed because malfunctions, that's yes, of course you tell anyone or you fix it or whatever. But what about the friend that gets dressed to go out and the camel toe is real? Do you say like, girl, stop, we not walking through the desert today? Or if you know this is how she rock, every pair of jeans she got do that, then what do? You gotta let sis rock or no?
No. I feel like no. I feel like, I mean, and maybe it's just me, but I'm just kind of like, we're all for one and one for all. We're a united front. We're going out. Now, we might not have the same style, but you need to, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody should look put together. Like, there are friends that I have that are more conservative than me or edgier than me or whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, everybody looks like like, if you walking out with a camel toe.
What if that's what when you met her, she had a camel toe? And after that last time y'all went out and you told her that they was too tight, she still went and bought a whole new pair and they still too tight. Then what you do?
You want to know the honest truth?
Yeah.
I'm like, why you still wearing them pants that give you the camel toe? Like, I'm going to keep it a buck, sis. Like, why are you still wearing those pants with the camel? Like, okay, if that's what you want to do, cool. But I'm shedding light on the fact that you still have a camel toe. Like, so I think it's still about communicating, like, you still have a camel toe.
So it's girl code to say something.
I think you should say something.
All right, fine. Moving on.
Because sometimes people see themselves, like differently than what it actually is. Another one is, oh gosh.
Well, here's a couple that we know off the rip. Like, we looked up some stuff that people were saying. Give out hairbands freely. Of course, you give that to a stranger.
Yeah.
Same with tampons, any of that, right?
Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish, sis. But the other one, though, is interesting. Don't talk about your friends to outsiders.
That's a good one.
So here's the thing. Absolutely, positively, no. I will flip about this kind of thing. I am somebody where I'm like, oh, no, squat up. Like, no. You know who's in the clique and who ain't. Like, talk about me to my friend because it's a constructive conversation. Don't even like breathe my name to outsiders. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's a direct violation of code.
A direct
I was
violation
just thinking in my
code.
head, like, when have I? But let me put this out there, and maybe I'm just telling on myself. There have been moments where there's a situation that I'm concerned about, and I don't want the friend group to know because it's just that personal, and I will go to someone that I would seek my own personal advice from. And I might not say exactly what's going on or who it might exactly belong to, but I have done that before where it's like my friend is dealing with something and I don't know. I've said this a couple times. I feel like it's not hitting home. Like, is there another way I should approach it, or what do you think about something? I think that's okay if it's someone that you trust.
A trusted confidant, I think, is a bit different. I think a trusted confidant is maybe like, the exception to the rule.
Okay.
And this is someone who you trust so much
Did you tell your personal business?
that
Like
you
my
would
own.
tell your.
Yeah,
I was
for
just about to
sure.
say that you would tell your own business to, and also too, it's not a group setting scenario either. Like, you know, if you're talking about somebody, your friend, to someone who's kind of outside of that circle, it is because again it's constructive and you're having like a one-on-one conversation with a trusted confidant.
Right.
What is completely and totally unacceptable that I feel happens still more often than it should is when you have people who are supposedly, and I'm air quoting right now, your friends, who then leave the circle of trust and start yipping and yapping.
Yeah, I don't like them side combos
Those
at all.
the side combos, direct violation, and then also too
and that's
when
in
you're
click. Like
yeah,
that's even in click. Like I'm not
that's
real
not
fond of that
that's
at all.
not cool. And then but also when it relates to outsiders as well, it's like, and if you're there and people are piping up and trying to talk shit about your girl, like, you know what I'm saying, you are also guilty if you're silent.
I was gonna say, yeah, and so that even brings to this, like, do you step in to defend your friend
Yes.
if someone's saying something that you don't agree with, or that you
Yes.
knew if she was present she would have a problem with?
Yes, you and you
So
defend,
you fully pop off.
you defend them even if you agree. That's how I feel. Even if you have some sort of same feeling or whatever, like, one, sis, you should be talking directly to your friend about it if that's your, you know, your feeling. And two, you need to defend her no matter what.
Yeah, I fully agree with that code.
So, and I had an incident that just happened recently. I'm probably getting my blood pressure probably going up because it didn't happen to me, but it happened to a very close friend of mine. And I actually told her, you know, keep that one eye open, sis. I ain't a fan of that one over there, but that's cool. That's your girl. That's do you. And, you know, yeah, it was basically that situation where it's like you're leaving the circle and you're talking mess, and it's like, hold up, like, you could talk to me any day of the week.
Yeah, I feel like we should definitely talk to each other. That open communication is important. And then, you know, I'm always this type of person. If you've said something to someone else about me, you should have already said it to me first.
Period. You should have at least, like, it's like, oh, I attempted to say this and she didn't receive it. Is there a different way I could say it? Like, yeah.
So let me ask this question. Here's one that came up. So here's actually a scenario I've heard of before through a group of friends where there was a situation where if your friend gets too drunk or there's some things happening and you guys are out, do you leave them or do you make sure? Well, I mean, they had Bay on site and they had their own plans for after whatever they were going to do. And sis was just kind of messing up the mood because she was a little too inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
So then, you know, they made sure she got home, I guess, in an Uber. But so is it your, so let me say it like this. Is it your obligation to make sure your friend has gotten to wherever she's supposed to go after a drunk night or a fun night and you have something else to do? Do you make your bae go with you to take your friend home?
No.
Do you put her in an Uber, make sure she got there because you can watch the Uber? Do you say, bae, I'll be back later, let me go do this? Or do you say, bae, the night is canceled? Like, where's the code on that?
I think you need to make sure that your friend is, like, home and safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's like you need to make sure that your friend is home and safe. I would hesitate to put my friend in an Uber who was completely inebriated, that, like, and I wasn't present there
Yeah,
with
I mean,
her.
Ubers aren't safe sober.
No, or another friend wasn't there present with her. So I think it's like either you personally are seeing her home and safe, meaning you've, you know, rode with her wherever,
Yeah.
or you know that, you know, your other friend, your other girl is doing that exact thing.
No,
So
if it was just you and your friend.
if it was just me and my
Yeah.
friend, I'm definitely, like, getting her home.
Would you take Bae with you, or would you?
No, I would tell him that I will be to him when I'm done. Because the other thing too is, like, you know, always put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, if I'm,
I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
If I'm drunk, like, I don't want your dude seeing me drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want your bae seeing me out of sorts. Like,
And I don't want my bae to know where you live at.
and that.
I mean, so slap that barcode. That's a barcode. Like, he don't need to know where you living at drunk. I don't want him to see you like that drunk.
I'm finished.
So I'm gonna get you home, and I'm gonna get to Bae when I can get to Bae. And if
Yeah.
you need me, if it's a situation where there's a toilet and a bathroom
Exactly.
floor involved, he just gonna have to wait till the next time. Now
I-
that's full call.
I was just about to say, like, if you need me and I'm there, and, you know what I'm saying, if I can't leave you, then I can't leave you. But if I get you home and safe and, you know, you're resting, it's like, you know, call me, let me know what's going on. and I think that you can still go. But if that person is like completely done for and needs you there, you stay.
You stay. All right, so then here's another one. What about if there's an event or there's a party, and I'm sure we've all been in this situation, do you invite your friends, enemies / maybe used to be friend, not so much, we see this stuff on all that reality TV stuff all the time where they invite the person that would just talk about the person to the event. Like, is that a direct girl code violation if you're cool with everybody and this is your event? Like, how do you do that? So if, for instance, if I'm having an event at Suede and Kel and a person named Susie, not cool, but Susie and I have done business, we're cool. Do I invite Susie to the event and invite Kel to the event, or do I say, Susie, you can't come to this one because Kel my beastie and she gonna pop off?
I think it depends on what happened between the two of us, because I've been in this position before where it's like I have two friends who used to be friends, aren't friends anymore. So I never feel as though you should pressure a friend to like end a relation. Like, we're grown at this point. Like, we're not in high school, so you shouldn't pressure a friend unless it was something that was just a violation of values. That's how I always say. Was it a violation of values? Because,
well, give us a little bit.
Here's an example. You can disagree with somebody on said subject, okay? Like, we have a difference of opinion. It caused us to fall out, okay? That's one thing. But did you sleep with somebody's husband?
Right.
Did you, hit me?
Did you steal a bunch of money?
Did you steal some money? Was it a violation of values that I can't get behind that either? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for it either.
Oh yeah.
It's that to me is what determines, one, if you really stay cool with the person, and two, if you would ever even have that person around.
Okay, so that's fair.
Friend.
So event-wise, it's all based off of how the relationship ended between the two friends.
Correct.
Well, then going into that, then what would be a situation where you would decide if one of your friends stop being friends with someone? What would be your determining factor that, I can't even be cool with them?
Violation of values.
Period.
So like what we just talked about. Like,
so you wouldn't even be friends with them no more either, even if you had your own relationship?
If I had my own relationship with them, I would still hear their side of the story.
Okay.
But ultimately, if facts are facts, I would be hesitant to continue down the road of at least being as close. Like, it's one of those things where it's like we didn't have to fight or argue. We just decided, you know what I'm saying, that like it's
part our ways.
We're not
peacefully.
Yeah, we're not rocking out. Because I feel like if people are who they are, especially at this point in our lives. So if you would do that to my friend, you know what I mean? Like, who's to say you wouldn't do it to me? There's a debate. When I think about these topics that we talk about, I'm like, there is more of this happening around us than
as grown women.
Than I think we even realize, because
a lot of people ain't graduated from high school in their social life.
I'm just like, but it's like it's never necessarily, I shouldn't say never, but it doesn't really happen often within like my very intimate circle of friends.
Yeah.
But people who you still know are going through these things with maybe their more intimate circle of friends or people that they know, and I'm just like, this is wild. Like, one girl that I know had a friend, and this girl is married, and she had a friend who was seemingly thinking about messing with like a married man.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just becomes, in the mind of a friend who's also a married woman, you're like, hold up, like,
I mean, there are principles here.
wait a minute, sis. Like,
I'm always.
Should you come to my house?
I'm always like this. Everybody has to be who they are, but it is my job as your friend to always remind you of who you have said you wanted to be. So if you've told me that, this is the type of life I'm looking to live, this is what my goals are. I might not want to change who you are in this moment, but I have to remind you of who you said you want to be.
That's good. That's a cheat.
Yeah, that's a cheat, y'all. Right down.
That's a cheat. Who did you say you wanted to be?
Yeah, because then this way, it's not like I'm making you wrong for feeling this way, because people do develop feelings for people who are married and all those things. I mean, I can't say that hasn't happened. I know a lot of situations in that instance, you know what I mean? But is that something that I, as a friend, am going to encourage you to do? No, but if I'm your best friend and you telling me, girl, me and this man have had this situation, I found out he's married, I'm dealing with it, am I going to just cast you down? No, I'm going to be like, let's consider some things here. Didn't you say you wanted to be married? Didn't you say you want this type of husband? Well, what kind of seed are you sowing? Because that's exactly what you're going to reap. So let's
Exactly.
just think this through. And honey, what I have learned about these men, because men for some reason be a big deal with us women. They come and go.
They come and go.
Like,
and
you really
know what?
can choose.
Half the time you need to boomerang that thing.
So on this topic, I mean, we've dealt a little bit in, the meat of like men, women things, but I have this question. So if you have a friend and she has a man, a husband, a boyfriend, not a peripheral, and or maybe even a peripheral, that you catch cheating, or maybe he's out with someone, or you see something that looks suspicious, do you say something to your friend?
Oh, Lord.
That's a tough one for me.
Oh, Lord.
It's a tough one for me.
I think it depends on who it is.
I think
And I didn't always feel that way. I used to be like, unequivocally, I will definitely say something at all times. Like, this is my code, and I'm down for the girls, and all for one and one for all. No.
Let me just say a couple things that always come to mind. And I've never been the way you are. I've always been the type of person that every case has its different sentiments to it.
And that's what I came to.
You have to learn, first of all, who the chick is, like how your friend is. First of all, if she's gonna be mad, if she's gonna be the one to shoot the messenger, because there are some females like that.
Oh.
Two, if she's gonna be the type that'll listen and then not do anything about it. So then it's like, well, what did I tell you for? Because now you look like you just okay with being hurt, and I feel bad about it. Then three, if she's the type that will blow the whole scene up, make way more of an issue of it than it really is, and then you got to stand there and take all the shots from her, the man, the other person, and then she gonna turn around and be right back with him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like, it's
a touchy situation. But okay, so let's give a scenario. What would you do?
I think in every instance, I would try to make myself. Here's what I will say. I will say that if it's somebody who I wouldn't tell, I would try to make myself visible to the man. So I would try to make the man who is in violation uncomfortable. So I would probably approach and say, "Oh, hey, what's up? Da-da-da-da.
Where's my girl?
Like, how
Would you do that?
How is such and such? How's things going?
Where's your ring? Don't see it."
Like, I would completely blow spots up, be clear. But it's almost like I would do that in an effort to
make him uncomfortable.
encourage him to say something so that I wouldn't even have to, because his assumption would be
that you're gonna say something.
Oh, it's about to hit. Like,
so what if you do that?
Yeah.
The husband goes and tells your friend, I saw your friend such and such and such and such. I was with whomever he gonna make up and say, because he ain't gonna say the whole truth. Then your friend comes to you, why didn't you tell me that you saw John last night at such and such time with such and such?
Because I felt like it was John's job to let you know, because just being, again, in the spirit of being honest in communication, I feel like you might not have received it from me.
Okay, that's perfect. I mean, do we agree, beasties? Like, is that how we would roll with that? I mean,
now
send us a comment. What's the difference?
Now, what's the difference? Now, on the flip, if it's a friend that I know, like, oh, I'm seeing what's going on. She about to bust this.
You about to video record?
Oh, I'm getting the whole thing. Like, honestly, when it's one of those friends, like, this has never happened between me and you, but like, if it was you, oh, I'm recording the whole joint. I'm texting you. I'm like, where do you say he was at? It's, time stamping. Like, you know what I mean? We in a full,
Yeah. I'm going to meet you there.
Hello. It's a Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I'm going to meet you there.
That's what I'm saying. You tucking it.
You ain't even got a video record. FaceTime me.
FaceTime me. I'm a tuck and roll. But
I mean, and that's the same. I mean, well, let me say this. The other thing about me, I agree exactly with what you said. I would make the man so uncomfortable that it's like he would have to tell on himself. So from that position, have you ever been in a situation where a friend of yours, mate, approached you inappropriately?
A friend of mine's mate.
Okay, yeah. Or have you ever heard of a scenario?
Let me say this. Dudes talk more than we do. They tell everything. They don't consider, the person that they're telling. They just gonna tell it.
Okay.
Like, because I've been in situations where it's like, totally, like, it's a friendly scenario, or I was, at a particular venue or whatever. And, next thing I know, like, oh, you were at such and such, or I heard you. To this day, I mean, till this day, people give up more information than what's necessary. I'm like, I'm a whole single. Like, I need to understand.
I'm a whole single. So then, okay, so if, for instance, I'm dating a guy, his name is B, and you out, and it's a good time, and B come over, and he just so happened to approach you inappropriately, like he put his hand on your waist, he a little drunk, he might kiss you on your neck. What would you do?
If B approached me inappropriately and y'all were dating, he approached me inappropriately. Is this you specifically?
Yeah, I mean, or any friend.
No, but it's not. It's again.
Okay.
It's about who
Your beastie.
you're talking to.
Your beastie, me.
Yeah, I would be like, he was a little too touchy I might not get into like the details of what he did, but it's like he was a little too touchy for me. He looking in my eyes a little too long. Like, I don't know, friend. I don't know if I sign off on this one.
He was trying to get dreamy in the daytime.
Yeah, I'm like, So if that was the situation, I would probably, that's exactly what I would say. I would just be like, I don't know if I'm a complete fan because
I'm gonna tell you guys
the
secret.
worst part is a half-ass information.
I know, that's the thing. I don't like half information.
So it's not. So I'm not gonna come back to you like I don't know about him. I don't sign off. I ain't messing with him like that. And you like why? And I'm just like,
well, we don't do that. That's about that whole open communication.
That's what I'm
direct
saying.
communication.
It's like no,
but people do that often.
It's
like, honey, who got a bush to beat around? Because I don't have no bushes to beat around. So go on and step through this thing. Get your axe out, chop the tree down, and tell me what it is. Where we gonna put it at? What we gonna burn? What we gonna keep?
And I honestly think that should just be the case with women. It's like if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, drop it in the bucket, just pour it, sis. Like I don't even what's happening.
No, for real. So I have a little secret that has worked for me because when I was younger, sometimes this would kind of happen to me. But in my, as I've seasoned, it's very rare that this has happened. And one of the things that I do is I'm very careful how I approach other people's mates. Period. It doesn't even have to be a friend of mine. When I meet a man, I am not extra chimmy. I don't care. Even when I'm, meet anybody that you may have dealt with, I'm very, very careful to be, hey, sir, how you doing? And people laugh at me because I say, hey, sir, how you doing? And when I hug at an angle. I never hug straight on. But even these small adjustments I've learned has communicated to men that I'm not the one to try. And I think we maybe need to add that to the cheat and to the girl code, that when you meet a person's mate, no matter how friendly, even if you've known them for a long time, once we've crossed that line of relationship, you should be very conscious as a woman to direct how that goes, because you give the energy for them to work off of.
And you know what's so funny is like that is such an awesome cheat, and I just can't thumbs up enough, like that whole scenario.
And I mean, and you've seen me in action, so.
Oh, yeah, I can vouch.
I don't play that.
I can vouch.
With nobody.
I can vouch. And then, too, just being, like, vulnerable and transparent about it, there have been times where I'm like, dang, I guess I could have handled that, differently. Because you don't think about it.
No, you
it's
don't.
like, you're not trying to get at anybody, or I never even assume ever that anybody is interested in me or whatever. But, like.
But you fine too.
That's nicey, friend. I'll take you. I'll take a fine today. But yeah, so it's just like, okay, maybe I could have, because I feel like there have been times where my certain friends have made side comments that I think are passive aggressive, and then I have to realize like, oh, okay, I need to be more mindful.
Oh, that's
about how, you know what I'm saying? Because like you might feel away, and there's nothing, like he's done nothing my way, I've done nothing his way, but I don't ever want you to ever even like.
Well, what I just gave you is a safe way for that, because that's happened to me before too. It's almost like I'm like, do you feel away? Because ain't nothing going on. He hasn't done anything that made me feel uncomfortable, and I know I ain't did nothing to make him feel uncomfortable, but you just might be feeling away, and you don't know what a man says when you're not around. That's the other thing. But we can get into that conversation another time. In fact, we will soon. So we are running out of time, beasties, and I hate that we gotta go on this tip, but
let us know if you want more Girl Code Convo.
Yes.
We've been loving your feedback. Shoot it to us. You know where to find us, and that's basically wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're on all of the platforms.
All of the platforms.
Hallelujah.
And, follow us at Beast Friends Podcast. And until the next time, beasties.
See you later. Bye.